coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you were destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room for our subconscious, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
Thank you so very much for joining us right here on SIBN Radio as we move forward today. We thank you for joining us all around the world. My name is Marcus Salette, a.k.a. The Coach. And as I approach the microphone on today, I admit and confess that I have my own personal and professional issues. I've bumped my head enough, though, to bring to the microphone the wisdoms of the matter. And I trust that I can earn the right to speak into your life. Today we're going to be talking about, could your personal valuations hurt your business negotiations? And I thank you, and I would be remiss if I did not reach out to all of those that are listening on the various platforms where we air: Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, 415-96 Radio, iTunes, thank you so very much, Shoutcast Radio members, thank you so very much, SoundCloud, and beyond. We appreciate all of those that are joining us on SIBN Radio wherever we are broadcasting online. Again, today we're talking about personal valuations, how it may or may not affect your business negotiations. And we trust that you will share with a friend. Follow us on Twitter at SelectUSA TV. Let's get to work. Yes, we are here thanking you for joining us another time to talk about how we can begin moving forward. And we're running a few tests here and there, so if we do not come all the way through on the connection that you're connected to, we ask that you would just bear with us. Also, let me just do some house cleaning here. Let me see here. Don't forget now to like our page on Facebook for the Coach's Corner Show. And you can find that show. Just type in DACAOACH and like the page where it is found. But today we're talking about the personal valuation affecting business negotiations. What do we mean? Personal valuations, or valuations in general, are often looked at as an investment term. A term by which the investor determines how much your company is worth in order to give you a certain amount of money for a certain percentage of equity. And my question to myself and to you today is whether or not we are allowing our valuations to be either too high or too low, and how that affects us as we transact or interact in business relationships. For me personally, one of the lessons that I have learned is that more often than not, we have extreme valuations. I've seen investors walk into the investment room and pitch their company to the investors, and the investors will hear a valuation of X, Y, and Z and request for an investment at X, Y, and Z. And so the investor comes back and says, you know what? I don't really see, based on your sales and the movement of your company and the stats and the data, where you're getting this valuation from. Could you explain? And so when you find someone in your business relationship or even in your personal relationship who thinks more highly of themselves than they ought to think, you ought to pose that question that investors pose to small businesses or individuals wanting investors to invest in their business. And that is, I don't see, based on the behaviors of the past and present, how you could expect to have more respect and honor and diplomacy, for instance, when, the data shows, the behavior shows, the pattern shows that you are not quite at that valuation. You want me to invest in you, and you only want to give me 1% of equity in this relationship. I'm using that for an example. But yet, according to the data that I have, your valuation is too high, you see. And it also can work in the opposite direction. The opposite direction of valuation could mean that you yourself have entered into a business relationship or business in general, and also business relationships thereby by default. And in this entering in, you have brought with you the baggage of your past. You have brought with you the I say baggage, I want to say shaft of your past. Shaft is whatever the wind blows down the street. Shaft, things that you don't need anymore. Dead leaves, old branches, twigs, whatever the case may be. And so we bring that with us wherever we are. Whether we're in a new relationship personally, whether we're in a business relationship, we bring us with us everywhere we go. Sounds funny, right? But we do. And it's hard for people to understand that, the likability factor, the negotiation factor, and other factors depend on how well you have evaluated your personal valuation. And so hopefully when I come back from the break, we'll talk more about how to set your personal valuation just right. You don't want it to be too extreme, too high. Neither do you want it to be too low. If you have it too low, then the negotiations will always go the way of the other party. If you have it too high, you may win many negotiations, but the longevity of your relationships will reveal to those who negotiate with you or who invest in you that you were not as authentic as you came off to be. I'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to SIBN Radio. We'll be right back in a moment. Now is the time to have your business online with the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. That's right, SIBN or Select USA TV will produce your video on the spot. Picture business videos, on location streaming videos, or on location production videos. Dial 678-830-3118 or call the office at 404-910-5019 Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now is the time to have your business online with SIBN. The Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network now offers picture videos, on-location streaming videos, and on-location production videos for your event, cause, brand, or mission. Call today, 678-830-3118 or 404-910-5019. Attention all artists of all genres, now you can be featured on GAS, Global Artist Showcase on the CATL show, airing now on SIBN Radio. That's right, all artists now, all genres, wholesome and positive please, can be featured on GAS, Global Artist Showcase. Global Artist Showcase on the CATL show, now airing on SIBN Radio. For more information, dial 404-910-5019. That's 404-910-5019. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right. Or email us at globalcoverage@selectusatv.info.
All right, we're back talking about personal valuations affecting your business negotiations, and let us continue with the thought that perhaps your personal valuation has been set and you had not evaluated that place where it has been set, sort of like a thermometer. Maybe it's set on autopilot or something and you have never adjusted it. So this is the time where you want to really begin to think about adjusting your personal valuation. And some of the things that lets you know, some of the indicators that let you know that you need to make an adjustment to your personal valuation is that you've grown or you have not grown, one of the two. You keep hearing the same thing from the same people or everybody you meet all the time. Usually that's an indicator that you need to change something. But most of us do not get it sometimes, and it takes us bumping our head and bruising ourselves before we realize, okay, you thought perhaps in this case a little bit too highly. You wanted more than you are willing to give or that you have proven that you can handle. I need some help. Then the capacity therein of your evaluation, the capacity of your evaluation may not be as authentic as you have portrayed it to be. And so let's talk a minute, as I said, about setting that valuation or evaluating that valuation so that you can set it at an appropriate level. Well, one of the ways you can assess your valuation is when you look at your life and you realize I am worth honor, respect, dignity, fair negotiations, fair pay, things of this sort. I am worth a decent exchange in the human experience. I am worth this because I am a human being and because I want to say, like the old people used to say, give to others what I expect back. So therefore, my valuation is set at that I expect from others what I have myself been given to myself. And here's where the valuation falls off. Too many times more than not, we give to others, we want others to give to us, rather, what we are not willing to give to ourselves. And this is the issue. This is the equity problem. This is the equity problem, because in every relationship, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's a corporate relationship or whatever the case may be, there's equity involved. There's a certain amount of ownership the other person has in you. There's a certain amount of ownership that I have in others. And when we falsify the data, then we have a false valuation. Therefore, you have taken the investment of others and you have squandered it. More likely, your reputation will prove that the data was correct. And the investor, or those who invest time, money, energy, synergy, whatever you want to call it, now is wondering how will they recoup what they have invested in you, so that they themselves would also profit from the joint venture that you said you wanted the investment for and the investors' help for in the first place. So, we gotta reevaluate our personal assessments so that we ensure that it is set not too high, but not too low. How do you know if it's too low? People constantly take advantage of you. How do you know it's too low? You have poor customer retention. You can't keep a customer, or you can't secure new customers, or you secure new customers, but you never really have a good CSI, as one person told me, a good customer service index from customers who are satisfied with what you have to offer. And so that lets you know, those are indicators that let you know that your valuation has been set too low. Or in some cases, as we said earlier, too high. That last example was a too high valuation. Too low means people are taking advantage of you. Too low means you get hurt too easily. Too low means you have a heavy heart, a heavy heart and thin skin, if you will. You see. And so you want to be the type of person that has a balanced valuation of who you are, so that when you enter into a business negotiation or a business deal, that it's a fair negotiation. It's unfair if you enter into the negotiations if you have not done the inner work that is required to attract to you on the magnificational, altitude that which you believe you deserve. Now, some people are trying to be slick and scam people and all that. I'm not talking about those people. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother category. But what I am talking about are those who are shooting straight, those who are walking the path, walking the line, trying to make something happen, those who are grinding for real, those who do not have hidden agendas, and those who recognize that they don't only have strengths in their products and services, their concepts and ideas, but they also have weaknesses. And that they do not work on those weaknesses, they will bring those weaknesses to the negotiation table, and they will lose the negotiation, though they may win the contract. And there's been many people that have won the contract, but eventually the longevity of that relationship did not pan out because they were exposed. And in some cases, some people are so slick, they're able to hide their hand, and they're able to maneuver around to deceive people. And until such time as they're found out, you would never know. But all this is based on the personal valuation. Where or how much do you think you're worth when it comes to a business deal? Well, for instance, if you think low of yourself, then you're not going to have the same valuation of the deal. The person that would think in a balanced way of themselves at the negotiating table, and you're going to negotiate away your profitability, because all this heads toward whether or not we're profitable in our business ventures. And maybe it should have been entitled How to Become Profitable from Personal Valuations. But all this points to profitability, because we're not in business for fun. Though we may be passionate about it, though we may love it, we're in business to make money. We're in business to make a profit. And a profit can only be made through fair and balanced negotiations. And the people that are attending these negotiations have personal valuations as well as business valuations. Well, what I'm talking about is upping the ante and ensuring that you've done the inner work personally as a business leader, as a business person, as a business partner, as one who creates concepts, as one who propagates ideas. When you go to that negotiating table, if it goes wrong or if it goes well but later goes wrong, that's an indication not just you, but perhaps the other person had a poor valuation or had a valuation that was too high. You know, you always want to be in the place where you give more. I don't want to say give more, but you deliver more than you said you would. You always want to be in that place, but you never want to be in a place where you give more than the person earned. That's another indicator that your valuation is too low. You give too much, too soon, too often. Got to take a small break. This is the Coach. Be right back.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.
Hi, Shamika Chapel, College Park, Georgia, in the house. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Hi, this is Ted Bones calling from Richmond, Virginia, and you're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up now.
Hi, this is VJ Washington calling from Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. So turn it up.
Hi, my name is Sonia Claiborne from East St. Louis, Illinois, by way of Carruthersville, Missouri. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Turn it up.
What's good? It's your boy Joe coming from Snellville, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live. SIBN FM, powered by Summit USA TV.
The number one show on SIBN television and radio, the Coach's Corners Daily Show. Now airing at www.415-96radio.com for hardcore motivation and daily inspiration. Tune in. That's www.415-96radio. That's www.415-96radio.com. Thank you so very much for joining us right here on the SIBN's number one show, DCC. We're talking about the valuation affecting your business negotiations. It's a question. Has your business negotiations been affected by the fact that your personal valuation was too high or too low? It's just a question that you have to ask yourself, because it is a question worth asking. And I personally have experienced where negotiations went awry because my personal valuation was never evaluated to the level that it is balanced. To be able to scope out whether or not the negotiator, the person that's in the negotiation, also would take advantage of the deal and want more for themselves than the other party, rather than being fair and balanced. They always want it to go their way. That's a hint right there. If someone always wants it to go their way and they're not willing to pay for the way that they want it to go, then that's not a fair and balanced negotiation. And if I allow them to continue wanting more than they're willing to pay, then the valuation, my personal valuation is low, and it gives them the opportunity to take advantage of me again, reinforcing a low valuation of who I am and what I believe as a company, as an entity, that I deserve. So as we wrap things up, you have to ask the question for yourself: what am I worth? And this question is a struggling question in 3 dimensions, perhaps. One, because there are a lot of areas, industries that are brand new, and you've never really walked in these industries. You've never really worked 20, 30 years in these industries, or you've never heard of anyone working in these industries. And so this is a brand new way, a brand new path, a brand new avenue, brand new idea, brand new concept. That could be one issue. And there are other issues. But the truth of the matter is that before we walk into a business deal, we would hope that we have done the inner work to not only be able to bring our fair and balanced components of the negotiation to the table, but also be able to judge, to discern, if you will, whether or not we're getting ready to be taken advantage of, whether or not we're being lied to, whether or not the data that's being presented to us is accurate, and to know which questions to ask. A millionaire told me one time, it's not asking questions that's the problem, it's knowing which questions to ask that's the problem. And I hope that you can embrace the fact that every negotiation is based on our personal valuation, whether we want to admit it or not. Every negotiation is based on our personal valuation of ourselves and of our businesses or our projects. And so when we walk into that room to meet him or her or them, we must understand that if it is to be, it is up to me. Not only must I present myself in a fair and balanced way, not only do I have to evaluate and look at what I believe I deserve, but I also have to be able to discern who's out for themselves, because a negotiation isn't fair until both parties win and are satisfied. You understand what I'm saying? And negotiations also mean a sale, a quote, So I wanted to encourage you today along those lines. Personal evaluation affecting our business negotiations. I believe it does. I believe that once you change your business can change. Once your business changes, profitability margins begin to increase. That's what I believe. And I trust that I have encouraged you to believe. Believe again in yourself. Even if your valuation was too high, bring it down some. Work on those parts that need to be worked on. Tweak what you need to tweak, and then bounce back. If your valuation of yourself or of your business is too low, take some deep breaths. Realize and understand the components of what you're doing. And in some cases, you could be doing something very well, but because you personally have issues and hang-ups and hiccups, it shows through your interactions with others. So by all means, make that assessment and then go back to those new negotiation tables, new negotiation meetings, and win. Until next time, follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, The Coach's Corner on SIBN Radio, and anywhere SIBN Television and Radio airs. Thank you so much for joining us right there at www. We support Select USA TV, and listening to us 24/7, or when you can at www.415-96radio.com. Until next time, this is The Coach's Corner. I need you to realize and accept that there is only one philosophy that I have embraced under the Coach's Corner's umbrella, and that is that we are the common
denominator in every situation. So I can't blame them, they, her, and him. I am stepping up to the plate, and I realize it's all me. Not that it's all about me, but it's all about the legacy for those that come behind me to achieve a height of success that I can't even imagine. This is called the transgenerational shift of mindsets, that we may propel ourselves into the generations that is to come and tell them, I won't leave you a mess that you have to clean up, but I'll leave you a principle-centered life that you can celebrate and catapult into more success. Join me on the Coach's Corner at www.415-96radio.com. That's www.415-96radio.com, and follow me on Twitter. That's the only way you can keep up with the coach. That's right, DCC is in the house on SIBN Radio. Tune in.